morning, afternoon, evening, or night to anyone hearing this. And welcome back to your daily Lobotomy Corporation Abnormality Guide. I'm Riley, and today we'll be discussing classification code T-04-50, name being Queen Bee, which has a risk level of Vav, and its ego is Hornet. We'll do all the stuff that needs to be done with it, and then I'll drag in Azazel to talk about the ego gear we gave their sinner. That out of the way, let's get into it. For the appearance, Queen Bee takes the form of a large, monstrous bumblebee. The body is yellow with black stripes and is segmented into tiers that terminate into red and black hive-like flesh. She has a pair of crooked antennas, 2 pairs of tinted bee wings, and 1 misplaced large blue iris visible. Her head itself is severely mishappened with a few intermittent asymmetrical mouth openings, rimmed with small pointed teeth linings. Both the head and neck alike fit with exposed red and black flesh visible inside them. Its form appears to be an amalgamation of a gargantuan beehive and a bee. A cross-section of the inside shows a darkish red surface with particles here and there, much like that of raw meat. The segment that appears to be the face is heavily distorted. While it has wings, they lost their intended function of flight. The one eye that remains relatively intact shows pupillary movement, as if it were to watch for approaching intruders. While the abnormality always remains still, so it is assumed that it does not really move that much. When certain conditions are met, it releases spores that will generate billions within a 20-meter radius. The existence of life forms in its vicinity seems to be the one key requirement. When it did, there was no immediate change in the employees who inhaled the spores, and no anomalous sites could be detected on the examinations that followed. Once time had passed, the employees experienced severe pain in their optical lobe and abdomen, and after a certain period of time, their heads dislodged from their body, and a worker bee emerged from the separated body. It had been confirmed that the spores carry drone eggs that hatch inside a living host, based on the findings of an autopsy done on an employee killed by the abnormality. We believe that the larva will subsist on any portion of the body, be it blood, organs, or fat. It'll move freely around the body at this stage. When it becomes too large to move, it creates a cocoon near the intestines. The host feels extreme hunger at this stage, more than usual, or eating much more than usual. The cocoon moves upward through the body as it grows, eventually damaging the arteries of the throat and the cricothyroid with its jaw. As it severs the host's head from the body, after this, it will emerge from the body, exacerbating the wound of the host further. Excerpts from counseling log. Redacted had been telling me about his itchy neck for a while. He complained about indigestion too. One time, I saw him take a bunch of digestives. Who would have thought that it'd turn out to be such a serious issue? I never knew I'd be the one to witness the horrible moment. Redacted and I were just chatting, but suddenly he stopped speaking. He was still scratching his neck. It was turning so red I was getting worried. Then his neck started to turn at such a strange angle. Right then and there, I realized the severity of the situation. There was no way he could have been putting his neck that way on his own. It looked like someone was forcefully twisting his neck, and then I heard a zip, like the noise of shredding paper, a foreign sound of something tearing. His head fell to the floor as I heard a dull thud. Then, as if enough hadn't happened already, something began to crawl out of his neck, just like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon, tearing apart his headless body. The wings, the yellow trunk, the teeth that gnawed away his body. It's something I never want to see again. A being I'd hate to describe as something alive. seems to be aware of me somehow, but it looks like it looked like it didn't have any reason to attack at the moment. It picked up his cranium and flew away like a drone carrying honey. I can still hear the sound of its jaw rattling and its wings beating. Now we are moving on to the ego set. This ego set is called Hornet. The weapon in this ego set is a rifle type weapon they can own a max of 2 of, and that costs 60 unique EK boxes to produce. It is a VOV level weapon that deals 7 to 8 red damage every 1 second and has a very long range. The requirements for this suit is that the wielder must have a fortitude of 3 to wield it. The suit is also a VOV level suit, and its stats are as follows. It has a 0.7 times multiplier to all damage types except for Pale, which has a 1.5 times multiplier for it. You can own a max of 2 of these, and it costs 50 unique EK boxes to produce. The requirements for this one is the agent must have a level of 3 to use it. The gift takes up the helmet slot, and it has an acquisition probability of 3%. The effects it gives are plus 2 HP and plus 4 SP. For Queen Bee, there was 5 managerial guidelines. I'll be going over each of them, starting with Managerial Guideline 1. When the work result was normal, the Glyphith counter lowered with a normal probability. Managerial Guideline 2. When the work result was bad, the Glyphith counter lowered with a high probability. Number 3. When the Glyphith counter reached 0, Queen Bee emitted red spores throughout the entire department. Managerial Guideline 4. Upon observing the abnormality, it has been confirmed that the spores attach to employees for a certain amount of time and inflict red damage over that period. In addition, employees infested with spores were significantly slowed and could not be healed by the regenerator or bullets. Managerial Guideline 5. When the HP of an employee infested with spores had depleted, a giant drone burst out from their body. The drone indiscriminately attacked nearby employees. From the corpses of attacked employees, more drones emerged. Speaking of the drones, let's talk about them. Queen Bee has a Glyphith counter of 1, and when that Glyphith counter drops all the way down to 0, she will release spores and mostly stick to clerks, which is where most of the drones come from. For the appearance of the worker bees, its appearance is clearly different from worker bees, other than the color. It is capable of flight, but can only hover about 1 meter above the ground. It lacks antennae or eyes. A long appendage that appears to be an intestine drags behind its rear on the floor. Worker bee only shows 2 forms of behavior: delivering nutrients to the queen, or proliferating upon encountering an employee. It uses its jaw to crush their head, and then proceeds to inject their pupa into their bodies. When Queen Bee shoots out her spores, these spores will inflict 8 red damage every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. If an employee dies via the spores, a worker drone will emerge from their body. Worker bees have 120 HP and average movement speed, roaming the facility to attack nearby employees, dealing 6 to 10 red damage. Each employee killed by a worker bee will spawn another worker bee. They're classified as minions of a heat risk level. The defenses for worker bees are as follows. They take 1.2 times red damage, 1.5 times white damage, 0.8 times black damage, and 2 times pale damage. When working on Queen Bee, she can produce a maximum of 22 EK boxes and deals 4 to 6 red damage every time a negative EK box is produced. The outcome ranges are as follows. For a good work result, you need 17 to 22 EK boxes, positive EK boxes. For a normal work result, you need 10 to 16 positive EK boxes, and for a bad result, you need 9 or less positive EK boxes. And the work types are as follows. For Instinct, 1 and 2 are at a very low 0%. For 3 and 4, they are at a common 45%, while 5 is at a common 50%. For insight, 1 and 2 are very low at 0%. Common 3 and 4 are common at a 55%, while 5 on insight is high at 60. For attachment, 1 and 2 are at a very low 0%, 3 and 4 are at a 40%, and so is 5. For repression, all numbers are very low at 0%. For each observation level, the following benefits are gained. At an observation level of 1, you get a success rate plus 3%. At an observation level of 2, you get a work speed plus 5. For an observation level of 3, you get a success rate plus 3%. You will also unlock the ego gift and suit. For an observation level of 4, you get an additional 5 work speed, and you also unlock the ego weapon. Now it's time for Azazel to come in from the LCA, and to be honest, he looks really happy about this one.
I can finally do my favorite sinner number 5. Anyways, hello everybody. My name is Agent Azazel from the LCA, reporting to you for the sinner that's been given one of the egos from Queen Bee. Today we're going to be talking about lobotomy ego hornet alteration results, aka sinner number 5. Now let's jump right into his stats. His stats are for with base health of 223, a base speed of 48, and a defense of 60. His stagger thresholds are at 65% and 35%, with 145 and 78, respectively. His resistance are as stated: normal for slash and effective by piercing and fatal towards blunt. Alright, let's go on to his skills. Now, to address any important skills that has been given to us, let's talk about spores and loyalty pheromone. Now, spore is an attack effect given to enemies, which says max attack 15, turn end gains +1 count, burn count for every 5 stacks, and gains bind next turn. And loyalty pheromone is max attack 3, gain the following effects next turn based on stacks at turn to end. +1 stack gives you 1 protection, 2 stacks give you 1 haste, and 3 stacks give you clash power up. And its unique effect is that if you have Mersault at his final tier, he can convert all those pheromones into unbreakables. Now enough of the unique effects. Let's now move on to the skills. Skill 1, Warning Shot, is a base 4 piercing with 2 coins that is +4 each with attack weight of 1. It says deals 10% plus damage for every 5 spore on target, max 30%. Before use, a max spore round base inflicts 1 piercing fragility on hit once per turn. On use, coin power +1 for every 6 burn plus bleed on target, max 2. And coin number 1 spends 1 spore round base, and on hit inflicts 2 burn. And his second coin on hit inflicts 2 bleed. His skill 2, Eagle Alteration Buckshot, has the same base stats as before, as well as the coin modifiers, but it's now a 3 coin instead of a 2 coin. And it has an attack weight of 2, And it says deals minus 50% damage against sub-targets, deals plus 15 damage for every 5 spore on target, max 45%. On use, if the main target has plus 6 burn and bleed, coin power plus 1, and if this unit has loyalty pheromone, clash power plus 1, and converts all loyalty pheromone into unbreakables, beginning with the final coin, attack and add 1 or fewer spore round base. It uses his unique reload, which is called Reload Germination, which says effect applies to spore rounds unique ammo, consumes 16 minus sum of spore rounds divided by 2 SP rounded down, resets both spore round base and spore round buckshot to 0 stacks, and gains them up to max stacks. His coins are as stated: spend 1 buckshot round and inflicts plus 1 burn count. His second coin and uses 1 buckshot round, inflicts 2 bleed, and his third inflicts plus 1 burn count. All of them are based on counts. His last skill, Field Test Spark, is still a base of 4 with plus 3 on each coin, with an extra coin at the end that's an unbreakable. It says deals plus 50 damage for every excess attack weight beyond the number of actual targets for focus encounters apart. Deal plus 10% damage for every 5 spore on target, max 30 before use. Add 2 or fewer spore round base. Consume 6 SP to gain 3 spore round base. On use, coin power plus 1 for every 6 burn and bleed on the main target, max 3. And this unit has loyalty pheromone, clash power plus 1, and also converts all of the loyalty into unbreakables, beginning with the third coin. And on use at 3 loyalty pheromone, gain attack weight plus 1, which instead of being 2 is now 3, which attacks 3 enemies at the same time. Now, this coin can only hit 1 target and prioritize the main target while spending a spore round base inflicts 3 burn. His second coin, this coin can only target the single enemy, prioritizes the main target, and uses another base round to inflict bleed. The third coin also targets the main target and uses another round of base that inflicts bleed potency again for 2. And his fourth coin, Unbreakable coin, spend 1 buckshot round, deals minus 50% damage against sub targets. This coin can deal plus 5% damage for every loyalty pheromone on self, max 15. On hit without cracking. If target spore is at max stacks, activate the following: deals burn potency and spore stacks divided by 10 wrath damage rounded down. Dealing wrath damage with this effect counts as activating burn. Targets lose 1 burn count and spore on target expires. On hit, inflicts 1 burn count and 2 bleed counts. And the unique animation for it basically allows the enemies to explode. Now his defense skill, Spore Germination, is a base of 4 with a plus 10 coin for 1 singular coin. Combat start. Reload Germination once per turn. On evade use, coin power plus 1 for every 6 burn and bleed. On the attacker, max 3. On evade, heals 10 HP once per turn. And if this unit has loyalty pheromone, heals an additional 5 for every stack. The ego utility for each of the skills goes in order from Lust to Wrath for the rest of the skills. For his skill 2s, 3, and defense, just his evade. His combat passive, Ego Alteration / Spore Round, stays always active, begins encounter with 10 spore round base and 6 spore round buckshots. On hit using coins that spend spore rounds, if spore round was spent, inflicts 2. Inflicts buckshot was spent, inflicts 3 spore rounds. This counts as inflicting negative effect damage with the skill. In case if any identity requires a negative skill to activate any extra feature, for example, Ring Falvis Dodson Rodion. Before coin use of a coin that spends buckshot, if this unit does not have buckshot, consumes 2 SP and 2 base rounds to gain 1 buckshot. If this unit runs out of spore mid skill, cancels all subsequent coins and reload germination. When target have spore that have spore are killed, gain 1 loyalty pheromone. Spore diffusion requires 3 Raz to own and no res, aka resonance. On kill against enemies that have spore, gain the following effects: inflict double the spore for the next turn, and on kill using a base attack skill, gain spore round the skill spent, divided by 2, spore round rounded up once per skill. The support passive, Worker B, requires 4 Wrath Resonance to activate. Apply the following effects for this turn 2 times per counter. An attack of ally pierce base attack skill. The said ally heals HP equal to 10% of HP damage dealt using the attack. If all base attack skills are equipped on an ally skill slot or pierce, all allies heal 10 SP at end turn. That is all of the information that has been given to me by Dante, aka the LCB's manager, and I hope each and every one of you have a great time with your research. This is Azazel signing off, and thank you for really having me once again. Bye-bye!
And that was everything we have for Queen Bee. I hope you all have an amazing day, and once again, this was Rowley. And I wish you all a good luck on whatever you have going for you.